Hey, hello everybody, Disciple here with Overwatch Curios. Now, whether or not you've been watching the Blizzcon 2017 coverage, you're probably excited about a new Overwatch hero, and if you're even a fraction as excited as I am, then you cannot wait for Moira to come out. Now, if you guys didn't see the announcement, there's going to be a new healer support in Overwatch, and fortunately, since I was at BlizzCon myself, and I'm fortunately there on a media badge thanks to Blizzard, I was able to record some Moira gameplay. Now, I wasn't able to record with OBS or anything or to stream it live, but I was able to capture the monitor with the camera and get a little bit of a taste about what Moira felt like. Now, we made a full gameplay video on Overwatch moments, and I want you guys to check that out. I'm going to be showing gameplay here as well and talking about what I think Moira is going to do for the game, how I think she's going to be played, and what I think matters. We're going to analyze how her abilities are going to work, how they're going to interact with other characters, some characters that'll be strong against her or strong with her, and I just want to talk about my new favorite support in the game. I don't know how much I'll actually be playing her since of course I am a bit of a tank main, but when I am playing support, Moira is going to be so much fun to play, and that I think is the biggest thing that Moira is going to do for the game, is make support even more fun to play. It's something that Blizzard has done a pretty great job of with Overwatch. Even someone like Lucio can be very proactive and can get kills as well while still being primarily a healer. Now having a new healer that also has sort of the balance of harmony and discord that Zenyatta does, but instead augmenting herself through science to be able to send out beams and leech life from the opponents, it's absolutely so much fun, and you get to make some really cool decisions in every single game to determine whether or not you're going to play aggressively or whether or not you should hang back and heal your team up, and you're going to get chances to do everything in pretty much every single match when you're playing her, since she's very versatile. She's also very survivable since you do have two ways to heal yourself as well as a pretty good escape. Now, I think that Moira is definitely going to help a lot of people play support. When people play Moira, they may not play her absolutely ideally, especially at first when everyone tries to play her aggressively. If you guys watch the gameplay, then you guys will see that I probably went in a little bit too much too often, especially trying to duel out Reapers. Reaper apparently a hero who is particularly strong against her since he can pretty much dodge the entire orb, and Moira just cannot keep up with the healing that Reaper gives himself. Since you're both leeching life from each other, Reaper is going to kill you much faster than you're going to be able to kill him. But when you do play Moira, you do get those awesome chances to just jump into the enemy team and finish off an opponent, and then maybe even throw out a healing orb for yourself to ferry yourself out of the fight. One combo that I was able to use was I saw a Reaper run off with very low health in his Wraith Walk, so I used my shift actually to blink past the enemy team, get onto him, finish him off with a right click, and then was able to use a healing orb to escort myself out of the enemy team. They were firing at me, but I was able to heal myself up along with the help of my team and escape myself. And having a healer who can assassinate just feels so cool. Usually you only get that feeling when you're playing Lucio and you're wall riding behind the enemies, or you're playing Zenyatta and you get a really sweet right click. But Moira really feels like what Symmetra should have been. You still have the beam gameplay and a lot of some close range interesting encounters. You send out balls as well. She really feels a lot like Symmetra in terms of gameplay, but the fact that she can actually heal and provide utility for the team, not to the effect that Symmetra can, of course, with her teleporter and her shield generator, but the fact that you can heal your team up to full and do some amazing AoE damage makes her so much more fun and way better as a support character. I think she's just the healer we needed. My only issue is that she doesn't do a lot of burst healing. All of her healing is over time. If she does use her orb in addition to her left click to spray out the AoE heal for her team, then she can do a lot of healing really fast, but it's still not quite the burst healing that Ana can do with her biotic grenade and left clicks on someone like a tank. However, she can sustain her team up for a very long time, and I think that she will be an incredibly effective healer when she gets in game. Now, for some of her weaknesses, she does have a range limitation. She has a lot of trouble, just like Symmetra, of killing someone like a Pharah up in the air or a Widow who's in the back lines, and if they're giving her a hard time, there's not really a lot she can do. She has her shift, and if you guys read the description on the website, that description is actually incorrect. On the website, it says that she teleports a short distance, but in reality, what she does is a sort of cooler version of Sombra's shift. She makes herself invisible, she makes makes herself invulnerable, and she gives herself incredibly high speed for a little bit less than a second. So you can essentially blink. It's a bit longer blink, but it does let you kind of reposition yourself right in the middle of a fight, and it is super, super fun to use. So if a Widowmaker has her sights on you, you can try and blink away, get behind cover, but I think it's really effectively used against a bigger ult like a Junkrat Riptire, or even if a Pharah were to ult you, you could use that to make yourself invulnerable while you get out of sight, and then you can get back into the fight from a different angle. And that ability is just so cool, and it's what makes her playable. If she didn't have any mobility, then she would probably run into the same issues Zenyatta does, of being really, really fun and having so many great uses, but also being really, really vulnerable to someone jumping on you. Moira has the ability to get away from that, and also has the ability to duel someone that is trying to jump onto her. Since she does have pretty great damage, and she does have some life leech with her right click, she can actually sustain up during a fight, and at least hold out until her allies can come and protect her in a fight. I expect to see her with a couple of tanks on her team, since her healing over time is definitely incredibly helpful to keeping someone alive. And if your team can even dive in together, it seems like a dive comp would really benefit from either having a great amount of additional damage from a Moira, or even to have a healing orb come through with them to help them sustain past any immediately high defenses or bursts. Moira can combo really well with an Orisa or a Zarya, since their ability to bring enemy heroes together is perfect for Moira's E, which sends out the ball that does damage over time to everyone nearby it, and of course for her ultimate, Coalescence, which is just one of the coolest ults in the entire game. And Moira can AoE them down, and you can be a support getting play of the game with your DPS ultimate. That is absolutely absurd. But Moira can also be really great against Zarya. If a Zarya ults you altogether, you can send out your healing orb, and although it won't stay on your team for very long, if you bounce it off of a wall, you can prolong the time that it's on your team, basically doubling it, and keep your team healed up. And of course, using your left click as well to AoE heal through it. And if you need to, you can ult and use Coalescence to heal your entire team in your beam while you're all trapped together in that Graviton Surge. Any team where you can be grouped up at any point can benefit from Moira because of her ability to AoE heal and AoE damage. I think that's something that the game was really lacking. Lucio's always done really, really low healing, even in an area of effect, and we had Soldier 76 with his AoE healing. Ana's Biotic Grenade has been nerfed and then buffed a few times, but it does a decent job of it, but no one is going to do it as well as Moira is, and I really expect that she's going to thrive in the current meta, especially with the upcoming nerfs to Mercy. Mercy won't be an auto pick anymore, and I think we're going to see Moira's and Lucio's together, because Lucio can give her a lot of the movement that she would really desire to help get Moira to the team to heal them, or even into the enemy lines with your team to try and dive them down and get into the fight to start dealing damage. I can also expect to see her with a few different supports. Maybe even Moira and Zenyatta could be very cool, because those two supports could probably take down an entire team themselves. It's pretty scary to think about a Moira with a Harmony Orb on her taking down discorded targets, using the life leech from her right click and sending out orbs until she charges up her ult, and it'll be really fun to see what kind of cool aggressive plays you can do on Moira. I would love to make montages about it, and I would love to play her in ranked if I get a chance to play healer. I want to go back to BlizzCon and play her some more, get some more feelings for her and some more impressions about her, but overall it seems like she's going to be an amazing AoE healer and a super cool addition to the roster. I hope that you guys like her as much as I do, and I hope that we get to see a lot more from her in the future. It'd be cool to see some sort of cinematic, since of course she is kind of the first evil healer. She started as a member of Blackwatch and then moved to Talon, and she kind of augments her abilities through this crazy science, and I think she has a really, really cool story to her. Another thing I wanted to mention in the video, just because I'm so absolutely excited about it, is that if you guys have been watching BlizzCon, whether you're at the event or you're watching it from home and you watch the opening ceremonies, there was a video with a bunch of people saying a bunch of really cheesy stuff about Blizzard, about how it brought them together, it introduced them to their wives or to their husbands, or it got them through a tough time, and we got to see ammunition in it, and we got to see Nickel in it. and we got to see me in it. I was so thrilled to be up there. Blizzard contacted me a couple months ago and had me come out to a recording studio and had me do a bit of an interview in front of the camera, and I was so happy when they actually used the footage. I got to talk about how big of an impact Blizzard has had in my life and how big gaming has been for me, and that was a dream that I never even knew I had, to be up in the BlizzCon opening ceremonies. It was so absurdly cool to see, and it felt surreal to look up there and hey, that's Disciple, that's me. And thank you guys so much for making that dream possible. I'm sure if Overwatch Moments or Overwatch Curios didn't have such great fans and such awesome viewer base, that I probably wouldn't have been asked to go do that. So I have to thank you guys for giving me that opportunity. I'm going to go back and enjoy some more BlizzCon, but I hope you guys enjoyed the Moira gameplay. I tried my best to get what I could, and I can only hope that you guys are thirsty for some more. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.